Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Bravo. We're Black. Did you miss me? It's okay because January is a very fickle month for me when it comes to being on this podcast because I gave you so much content in December that I literally needed a break, baby. Like, I needed a break, and I might take another break. Who knows? Okay, but I wanted to come back to talk about a few things to do with Bravo. NeNe's back. Wait, oh, my new thing for the year is to have a new graphic tee every single week. That's my like I didn't make a resolution and I just decided now that I really love graphic tees and my new thing is going to be like graphic tee of the week. I don't care if it just says like someone's logo. I don't care if it's like a cartoon. I don't care if it is like a logo that I don't know what it means as long as it's not offensive. I want a new graphic tee every week. So that's going to be 52 graphic tees for the year, you guys. So it's going to be pretty exciting. This week, the graphic tee of the week is Ratatouille, Remy the Rat. Everyone loves Remy. If you don't love Remy, I don't know. I feel like you are racist against animals. The rat can cook. He can literally help someone in need. You know, he minds his business. He literally just wants to taste good cheese and make good food and just have his own restaurant, but he can't help it because he's a rat. And who is going to trust a rat to saute their green beans? No one. So he has to go and he has to help this guy who doesn't even know that he's the son of a famous chef. And he has to go and bring him from just the guy who takes out the trash to a five-star chef. And that's why Remy is a hero. Okay, he's important. Remy the Rat t-shirt of the week. That's that. Okay. Anyways, back to what I was saying. NeNe Leakes is coming back to Bravo, and my God, I am so excited. Like, it is just a dream come true. I have been saying this literally since she left that we need NeNe back, and there have been rumblings. This was first actually not reported by, but it was kind of confirmed by the neighborhood talk, and I posted it on my timeline because it seemed like Kyle and the people at the neighborhood talk really did their due diligence on getting that tea, but it wasn't until Page Six reported it that people started taking it seriously. However, I took it seriously when the neighborhood talk posted it and was talking about where they, kind of heard that tea from. So I was privy to this. But if you follow me, you were privy to this before it was officially announced. But it was just so good to see it be said on Page Six, and then it was said on TMZ. And then we finally got to see NeNe on the Bravo TV official profile. I think that that was probably the most exciting and I don't know, like it was just it felt like old times. Everyone is saying that 2026 we're determined, and you know what? I'm gonna be a part of that effort. Like we're determined to make 2026 the new 2016. I was in a much better place with my mental health, with my physical health, with just everything in 2016. My best friend was still alive. I know that that's getting dark, but if you have not lost someone close to you, especially a best friend who was more like a sister, it changes the trajectory of your life and it changes your mind. She passed in 2018 and I have not been the same since. It just Nothing can prepare you for that. She was still alive. The music was bumping. Migos was out. Drake was taking over Summer 16. We were screaming 1738. We were younger and skinnier and hotter and all that good stuff. But that's not really what I miss. My physical appearance is not something that I miss so much because I'm still fine. Still that bitch. Been that bitch. Will always be that bitch. But NeNe Leakes was on Bravo, on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we are going to go back into that time and appreciate it. So basically what's happening is that they are doing the 20-year celebration of the Real Housewives franchise. Real Housewives of Orange County premiered in 2006 on Bravo, and they will be going city to city. Obviously, this is not going to be something where it's going to be an 18 episode order and NeNe is in it and all of that stuff. But if you've been paying attention, she's been back into the NBC universe for a while now. She was hosting like a fashion red carpet kind of thing, and a lot of people were talking about how she, allegedly sued Bravo and she won and she can never come back and she thought she was bigger than the program. This is the thing. If they can get Vicky Gunvalson back and they can bring back a bunch of people, there is no reason that you shouldn't be able to bring back NeNe Leakes, who built Real Housewives of Atlanta, who built the Real Housewives brand outside of Real Housewives. This woman was on Glee. This woman was in her own show on Fox. Like, was it Fox or NBC? Whatever it was, she had her own show. You don't understand. This is not just like, I could understand if it was no Tino Shade, Heather Gay, or a housewife that we Whitney Rose. Let me stop shading the Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is front of mind. That's why. If it was a Charisse, like no Tino Shade. If it was a Robin, we don't care about these people outside of the Bravo universe. NeNe Leakes, you cannot go on the internet without a NeNe Leakes meme being at the forefront. NeNe Leakes is bigger than the program, and that's why she thought she was bigger than the program, because she is. And any unfair treatment that she alleged that she got is true, because you can literally just look at what's going on and look at what some of the other housewives do, and they're still allowed to come back on the show. People get arrested and then come back on the show. Like, and different franchises get sent to different countries. And Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Atlanta, they'll send them down the fucking road. So I want to focus on the positive. NeNe Leakes is coming back for a road trip style thing. Bethany the Scarecrow came out of nowhere to talk about how she talked about this with NeNe before and wanted to congratulate her for going back on Bravo. For someone who does not give a fuck about Bravo, she seems to talk about Bravo a little bit too much. Stop. It's over. Either you want to be back on, because I'm sure, I'm sorry, I don't care what Andy Cohen says. If Bethany came to Andy Cohen and said, for the 20-year anniversary, I want to be back, I want to be a part of this, I want to be a part of the road trip, he would let her do it. He would let her do it if she would just shut the fuck up. That's what she doesn't know how to do. She doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. Every time something happens with Bravo, she's the first person to comment about it. And you have this huge multi-million-dollar company. You have a huge multi-million-dollar charity. You have all these things that you're talking about. You have become, no offense, a influencer of a certain age, which is very hard to do. You have built a brand for yourself on social media, built a brand for yourself when it comes to, selling physical products. You're just someone who, like, you have so many other things to do and to talk about and to be busy with, but you always come back to Bravo. Shut the fuck up. We don't care that you talked about NeNe coming to or doing a road trip or a processing concepts of we don't care. We don't care. You didn't do it, so she's doing it with Bravo, and it's different than whatever the fuck you were going to do. You didn't do what you were going to do. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. You didn't do anything. You had the interview. You're friends with NeNe. You talk about it. You talk about Atlanta. And don't think I forgot about how you talked about how Atlanta was ghetto. Because you want to bring up old shit. You want to bring up old shit? Let's talk about the old shit when you were mocking Atlanta for being ghetto. And Atlanta is still around. And guess who's not around? You, who still keeps talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta and also just Bravo in general. Bitch, give me a break. Get a life. Just stop. It's just so like, my God. Anyways, so yeah, I guess it's like a road trip thing, or not even a road trip, ultimate girls trip, whatever it is, NeNe's gonna be on there. They also revealed the first group. Let me see. They revealed like the first group of women that are going to be a part of this ultimate girls trip thing, and I am just so excited. Like I love it. Okay, it's called the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Meet the cast: Vicky Gunvalson, Luann de Lesseps, Teresa Giudice, Kyle Richards, Portia Williams, Giselle Bryant, and Lisa Barlow. That's the core cast. And the word on the street is the core cast, Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip, will also have appearances by dozens of very cool housewives from across the cities and eras. Yes, we do big things. So that's the core cast. So I'm assuming that this core cast, wait, is there anyone from? Okay, I was about to say, um, I'm assuming that what they're gonna do is they're gonna go to every city and they're going to have a trip in every city, and we're going to be invited to I mean, we're gonna have some OGs invited and some new Gs and some people that we love and some familiar faces. Like, I think that they need to pull out all the stops, and I am so excited to see what is happening. I had to get on here and yap about that. And welcome back, NeNe. Like, welcome, take your throne, mama. Take your throne. Sit back. Y'all see my sofa? Hold on. This is a sofa. This is for the physical viewers. Anyways, like, it just feels better. It just feels so much better that NeNe is coming back and she's where she belongs. And although this might just be like a introduction to her again, um, I don't know if necessarily she should immediately go into filming Real Housewives of Atlanta. If she does, I would be happy. But if she just, just does this first as like an ease on down the road into Bravo, I'd be very excited about that. But yeah, I feel like the plan should be she's on this ultimate girls trip thing, and then after that, I feel that she should go into filming Real Housewives of Atlanta, because I don't know, like, I don't think that there's a world where there's not space for NeNe, whether she has a good attitude, whether she's fun, I just want to see NeNe again. What about you guys? Ciao. Anyways, what else? Oh, Potomac. Okay. Angel, girl, you gotta land the plane. You have to land the plane. Um, the recently, I think the Potomac reunion was filmed. Yes, it was, because we talked about the seating chart. But have you guys been watching Real Housewives of Potomac? Because she brought them to Colorado and showed her ass. And I personally thought it was funny. The only thing that I did not like was when she introduced them to those men, and it was men with that were like billionaires that have a bunch of money, and they sat down and they didn't say hi and they didn't do anything, and it was just so odd. Just like Stacey said, it felt like Get Out. So she brought them to Colorado. She let some people know that they would be staying an hour and a half away from where she is in Colorado, which is crazy because I think okay, let's just say what it is. She wasn't living in Potomac at the time. She was recently on Watch What Happens Live and revealed that she closed on a house in Potomac. So if she does get another season, she finally has a house in Potomac that she will not be getting kicked out of. The Airbnb person is not going to send that Airbnb text and be like, listen, you got to get your shit and get out at 12 o'clock. You got to get out. Okay. Because we got someone coming at 4 and we're going to clean that whole house. But she closed on a house in Potomac recently in real life. But at that time, she was like, oh, I got to go back to Colorado. So let's have the last cast trip be in Colorado. When I say this has been the most boring, terrible trip in the history of boring, terrible trips, while also being hilarious at the same time. I don't know if she did this on purpose. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if she's going to redeem herself. But at the same time, I am saying that I'm very entertained by it. Like, I love that sometimes the water is working, sometimes it's not. I love that she just met the owners of the house when they pulled up. Because what do you mean? That's crazy. I love that she's saying that it's hot, it's high season in Colorado, and she couldn't have, you know, she couldn't have gotten them to stay closer to her. It's just like excuse after excuse, but also she doesn't like them bitches. So even if I did have room in my house, I don't like you bitches. So you're not gonna stay in my house. Now, I wouldn't have gone as far as to putting them an hour, hour and a half away from me, just because I know that I'm going to want to do, activities. Like, we gotta go to Wanderlust or whatever it's called, Wonderland. We gotta go to Wonderland. We have to go to dinner. I want you to meet my family and the billionaires with a B. I want you to be like around. So I'm gonna put y'all down the street, or I'm gonna put y'all up in a nice hotel, and then we can come to my house later on, and that's how it'll be. But as far as putting them an hour away, that was ridiculous. But the water not working, hilarious. Them trying to get the water while it's on. I feel like it's forcing Stacey and the other women to kind of bond, no matter how much Giselle and Ashley want Stacey to get kicked out of the group. She's not going nowhere. Um, Kiana she feels like she's in the middle, right? Because like this is my friend and I've known her for years, but I don't know this friend that is acting this way. Like, what the fuck, girl? We're finally in Colorado. You just got kicked out of Potomac. This is your time to do your big one, because this is the house that has been featured in many magazines. This is a famous house that you live in. So, if anything, you should be flexing and be like, hey, everyone, look at my famous house. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. And then with the whole thing about Bobby and her breastfeeding, I understand that she's a breastfeeding mom and all that. But if you are hosting a trip and you're supposed to be with the girls and you want to be on this show, you're going to have to pump some milk and get your ass to the restaurant, or get your ass to happy hour, or get your ass to an hour and a half away, because that's where you put them. Because if you would have put them in a hotel down the street, you wouldn't have had no problems. You could easily just go back and forth. And also, you can tell that Bobby is like, I'm not watching these kids. You are a housewife, really. And that's what he means by, like, I don't believe in any kind of way that he truly believes that any of these women want to be Angel. I believe that what he's saying is, hey, the show, from a male point of view, the show is called Housewives, right? Well, Angel really is a housewife. I was in the NFL, and she doesn't have to work unless she wants to, so she is a housewife. And you guys don't have any husbands. The ones that he's directing it to, basically, like Giselle and Ashley. You guys don't have any husbands, so you guys are not really housewives. She really is a housewife. And that's what he means by, oh, this is what they want. This is what they are aspiring to be. This is what the show is about. Even though it sounds janky and I don't like him, I'm sorry. I've decided that I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way that he talks to women. I don't like his friends. I don't like um it just seems like he just wants Angel to be a mother and a wife, and that's pretty much it. And that's okay though. Like, but if you're gonna come on the show, you guys need to hash that out off camera. Because you're saying on one hand, yeah, you know what, maybe I will, and maybe I will. I'll ask Bobby if he can, watch the kids. And then she's going to him and saying, I don't really want to go with them. Tell that to them, because we're on camera. And we're doing like it was like a confessional style outside kind of thing, which I want them to start doing that again. Do outside in the moment confessionals, because I love those kind of things. But it's like you can tell that she wants to be on this show for some reason. She wants to be on this show even though she has everything. Like, she's a housewife. She's a black business owner. She has multiple houses. Like, I don't know why, but she does want to be on the show. And she kind of wants that independence. And you can tell that Bobby does not want her to have that independence at all. He's like, you need to go and feed them children, and I'm not watching them. So figure it out. And that's how it feels. But on the next episode, which would be probably, yeah, you'll probably, by the time you listen to this, you'll probably see the new episode. Might be on Bitches Better to talk about the new episode, so watch out there. But we'll see, because I feel like if Angel could shut it down the way that she is acting like she's going to shut it down with the whole, oh no, they're going with me, or no, they're staying at that house or whatever. If she can land this plane, then I feel like she can buy herself another season. And they would be very interesting, especially if we're going to reintroduce Karen, because that's what I want. Obviously, I want to reintroduce Karen. Like, let's get back to Karen, baby. Let's get back to the real, like the Grand Dame, the real Potomac. Okay. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And she has that big ass hat. The hat keeps getting bigger. Like, remember in Scary Movie when that like ranger lady's hat just like keeps getting bigger? I feel like Angel's hat just keeps getting bigger. And she's about to lay down the damn law. And it's hilarious. What else happened? Okay, so that's pretty much Potomac. We're gonna see how Angel handles it, and then we're also gonna see how she handles the reunion, and we'll see if she gets another season or not. I'm actually okay with her getting one or not getting another season. I I don't know. Some people feel more strongly than I do, but it just depends. It depends. Don't let these people punk you, Angel. You might be named Angel, but I can tell you ain't no angel by the way that you've been acting lately. Because what you mean? I would have absolutely left the minute that I found out that I was an hour away from you. I would have went to a hotel, because you're not gonna have me in the streets. So even when they're driving, guys, even when they're driving to the freaking house that they're staying in, there's like no street lights. There's nothing. It's crazy. So for her to not, and a lot of people are, there's been a rumor that production pretty much like set her up or whatever. But at the same time, at the end of the day, you are planning this trip. So it falls back on you. If everyone were to blame production for a trip gone wrong, then we wouldn't really have anything to talk about. Especially when you have a big ass house like that. I'm sorry. I can't let her slide with that. Especially when she's trying to say that she can't go away from her kids for this amount of time, when Bobby is literally right there, or she can, move them closer to her, or she can, move closer to them. It's too many excuses. It's too many excuses. And then it's also that she kept saying, oh, you guys will get to see my personality. You'll get to see my personality. You'll get to see my personality. And it's literally the end of the season now, So I just have to see a little bit more from her. What else? That's Potomac, child. Now, Married to Medicine, I really love seeing. Okay, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I just don't like seeing the Married to Medicine people fight with their significant husbands about serious things. Simone does not feel appreciated, and she is consistently making Cecil know that she does not feel appreciated. So I just hope that Cecil decides to do something to let her know that he does give a fuck about her. Plan a date night. And I know that that's not going to fix everything, but plan a date night. Plan another sit down with your children, and make sure that your wife feels heard. Because you heard what your brother said. As far as Heavenly's story is pretty sad. Obviously, she's lost both of her parents, but she's gained a brother now. And isn't God funny and tricky like that? Like, wow, a brother. And she said that, well, her brother said that his daughters look like Heavenly. So, like, what a blessing that is. Although, that could skew, well, it did skew her vision on men. And I'm like, well, I don't put nothing past a dude, but especially back in those days. But yeah, so he's older than her, and he was a child that was born out of wedlock that they did not know about. And she's talking about how, she doesn't really have a lot of family. So she decides to have a family reunion. And I love seeing the whole macaroni and cheese, like who has the best macaroni and cheese. That is so black. Like that is such a classic black thing. Like the mac and cheese is very serious, and y'all already know that. This is white people know it, Hispanic people know it, Asian people know it, Native American people know it. Everybody knows that for black people, who makes the best mac and cheese is deeply, deeply important. That's it. That's all. So Toya is walking around and she's basically making everyone vote for her 15-year-old son's mac and cheese. And guess what? He won. Now, did she cheat? I'll leave it up to you to decide on if she cheated or not. But what I didn't like, I thought that was funny and I thought it was cute. And I actually believe because his roux looked really good. We saw Toya's son do the roux, and we know that Eugene can cook already. And cooking, like they have cooking shows where it's just children on there. So I truly believe that he made some good mac and cheese. But do I believe that it was better than Quads, who had Cooking with Quad? Cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya, cooking with Quad Web, cooking with Quad Web. I don't believe it was better than Quads. But the thing is, he's a 15-year-old, and no one's going to argue with a 15-year-old and say that you didn't win. Okay? It was just funny. I love the family reunion t-shirts that's probably going to stay in their family until 2040. Like I really wish that I had a family to do a family reunion with. But our family really does not fuck with each other like that. But that's oversharing. I also like that, Heavenly's brother showed up to this family reunion. That's really fun. Um They had games, they had just music, dancing. It was just like a positive, fun, different part of Married to Medicine, and the parts that we love, seeing them celebrate together as these educated Black men and women that are not arguing. It's not toxic. It's not, just nastiness. It is just a fun, good time. So that's pretty dope. I love the family reunion episode. But what I didn't like was when Toya blew up Homegirl's spot. Was that Angel? The new girls are Angel and Brandy, and I forgot the third one's name, but I think it was Angel that Mimi, which I'll get into also. I hate that Toya blew up Angel's spot because why would you do that? If I told you to hook me up with a doctor, your mission is to go and hook me up with a doctor. If you see me bringing my ting here and you done said, oh, are you doing this because you knew I was going to hook her up with a doctor? Excuse me? I could be dating him and I can also date the doctor that you're talking about. Dating does not mean that I'm locked down. You are about to make me miss my man. Why would you do that? And to say it just like so casually. Like I was so mad for Angel because I know what it feels like when you like I never mix my niggas up. Okay? I never let them pass each other or know about each other. When you are dating me, you will feel like you are the only person in this world. And for Toya to come and blow her spot up and be like, "Oh, are y'all dating? Oh, is it because you knew I was going to hook her up with the doctor?" Excuse me? Why would you do that? Ugh. But it was also funny. So we'll see how Angel handles that next, child. Mimi, Dr. Mimi, I think it's so important that she explains how she brings home a lot of the things that happen at her job, and also has to deal with having an autistic son, and also diving into how guilty they kind of feel sometimes that their daughter has to deal with having an autistic sibling. And it's not because they feel like the autistic child is a burden, it's because they don't want their daughter to get overwhelmed and feel like that she has to take on parenting and dealing and being stressed out with their sibling. Because a lot of the times, especially when they're close in age the way that they have to take things on the chin, and a lot of the times they don't get a lot of the attention that they need because the attention goes on the sibling with the disability, and a lot of the times they can feel invincible, and not invincible, but invisible. um I was the sixth sibling, like, I was the one with the disability, so but I'm also the star, so that's different. And I'm also the youngest, so that's also different. But, like, I can't imagine what it would be like for my siblings, like, okay, this is my parent, and my parent needs to spread most of their attention on one child because that child has a disability, and if I say anything, I'm going to look bad, and I'm supposed to love and take care of my sibling. But a lot of the times I resent them because it's taking the attention away from me, and it's not just about attention, it's also about stress. You feel like a responsibility to make sure that that sibling is okay. So the fact that they make sure they check in with their other child, and, they vocalize it and they talk about it on TV, and we see how overstimulated they get just by having to take care of one child, but they have two children, and also their careers to juggle. It's a lot. So I totally respect Dr. Mimi for sharing this with us. And then last but definitely not least, Quad. Oh my God, she is breaking my heart. And I'm so tired of the comments. Oh, she should have just had a baby when Greg wanted one. Greg wanted a baby. Why did she have a baby with Greg? She should have just had a baby with Greg. Greg. She was married before. She was married before. She should have been had a baby. Shut the fuck up. Even Greg's own wife has not decided to have a baby with him yet. And I'm not shading about her fertility. I'm talking about they could have adopted a child by now. They could be fostering children by now. They could be like, Greg was the problem in that marriage. You do not rush and just have a baby because you want to have a baby with someone who is the problem in the relationship, because that means you're then now connected to that person for the rest of your life. And she's already had to be connected with him even when she wasn't married to him. So please save the comments about how she should have had a baby with Greg, and just be realistic. Like, my God. Um, but I do feel like it's kind of a little bit of a red flag that King, not a red flag because I understand where he's coming from, but it just hurts to see that she wants it so much more than him, because I can understand if he was the one who had to go through the shots and he had to do this and he had to do that and he had to go through the pain and he had to do this, that, and the other. But she's the one going through the stressful part of it. She's the one who has to go get her eggs extracted. She's the one who said, you know what, if you don't want to pay for it, then I'll pay for it. She's the one who wants to be a mother. She's the one who does not have a child. He has a child, so he already knows what that's like, a blood child. So I just hope that he can have a little bit more patience for Quad, and I don't know if I don't want that to be something that breaks them up, and I don't know if I'm like, maybe she shouldn't have a baby with him either, because he kinda seems like he's tired of this junk. But at the same time, looking at it from his point of view, it's like, "Okay, we're spending all this money, we're going to not just like a fertility clinic, We're going to Dr. Jackie and we're going to Ghana. We're literally going to a different continent. Do you know how long it takes to get to Ghana? And then once you get to Ghana, you got to do all that shit all over again. Then you got to come back and you got to work and you got to take care of your kid. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I want Quad to be happy. So that is what I'm talking about. But yeah, you guys, I just need to come back. I took a little break. Might take another break, so don't get not too much on me. Really appreciate you guys for listening. I hope that you guys are enjoying all of these TV shows. There's just so much to talk about. I will be talking about more. Don't worry, we will be talking about Tell Me Lies. We will be talking about industry. I appreciate you for listening. I love you, and I will be back. And you guys, graphic tea a week. This week is Ratatouille. Remy the mouse or the rat. Remy the rat. All right. Bye, y'all.